little bit of hockey here. Bradford, why are hockey coaches always the first to go? You think about it. Out of the professional sports, they have the shortest shelf life. It's just like, it seems like it's the first solution to everybody's problem.
Yeah, and they always say they're hired to be fired. And that's the one thing that, you love hockey. I love hockey, follow it, all my life. But it's always bothered me that, hockey players have this image of being so tough and, they'll stand in front of shots and all this stuff, but they need a new voice in the room every 2 years or so.
Yeah.
It's made no sense to me. I don't know why it is. Coaching, you would think baseball, all these other sports, I don't get it.
See, I'm going to throw out a theory here. I think that to an extent, hockey's culture is the only one, by the way, in all of professional sports where effort is openly discussed. Like if you ever think about it, you go into a baseball locker room and you bring up effort, they look at you like, oh, what? What do you mean? Of course I ran out that 90 feet. In football even, it's kind of touchy because there's only 16 games. What do you mean we didn't try hard? But in hockey, everything is about effort. Why'd you win a game? Well, we really came out flying, or whatever. So everybody's first thought is, well, effort is the problem. Well, who's not getting the effort? We can't blame all the players. It's got to be the coach.
Yeah, it's such a strange sport that way. But I think there's an economic thing to this too, because, if you fire a coach, and we've seen this how many times where even if it's just a short burst, they can turn it around pretty quickly.
Edmonton. And Hitchcock.
And you can start
all he did was show up there in northern Alberta and teach these guys defense, which they hadn't been playing in their entire lives.
Right, but Edmonton is a true hockey market. But maybe if you're, say, in Carolina and you bring in a coach with maybe a name and maybe he can win, 9 or 10 games, and then you start selling tickets, and that's maybe the way they look at it.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like they should have more authority, more staying power, and they shouldn't have to walk on eggshells every time their team loses 3 or 4 or 5 games. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this
gives the players too much authority.
Last year there was not a single coach fired in season. This year we had 4 already.
It's been a lot.
And it's been Joel Quenneville, who's the second winningest coach of all time.
Right. A little bit of a different hockey topic here. Can Alexander Ovechkin catch Wayne Gretzky for the all-time goals mark? It's 894.
No, but this year he's kind of moved himself a little bit into that conversation. He's up over 600 goals. A lot of people thought after last year he wins the Stanley Cup that maybe his belly was full. That maybe,
it was full with
I didn't want to say that, but we saw the video in June of what happened when the Caps won.
And July and August.
Probably.
Go ahead.
And it was back to Russia. But anyway, he's come out again on fire this year, and he's leading the league in goals.
He's scoring. He's scoring at his usual pace.
And it's brought up the possibility that a few years down the road he could eventually eclipse Wayne Gretzky.
But what's the math? He's 33 years old. He's got to make up, 30 to 35 goals a year?
Yep, you have to do 35 goals over the next 7 years.
Can he do it?
I think there's a chance that maybe in the next year or two he'll have one of those seasons where he might be, say, a 50-goal season or 55 again. That's still possible. The game, the way it's being called, it's loosening up. So it's getting a little easier to do it, I think.
Here's what I like about his chances. And first of all, I hope he does it.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Because he is an infinitely better goal scorer than Wayne Gretzky ever was, which sounds nuts when you're talking about the math. You had to have seen Wayne play. Yeah. He was not. It sounds so ridiculous.
He's not a natural scorer.
He's not a great goal scorer. He finished plays that he made because of his brilliance in understanding the ice. Ovechkin's style forever has been to just park himself, obviously, on that left dot or somewhere for that one-timer. That doesn't lend itself to fading out as he gets older.
No.
In fact, if you think about it, that's where Mario went when he got older.
Yes.
Right?
True. And, Ovechkin's credit, he's not been injury-prone during his career. He's only missed, I believe, 25 games in his first 14 years in the league.
It helps that he's built like a tree trunk,
And that helps, too. And, nobody's been able to defend that Ovi office shot that we talked about. So maybe he does it. I'm not saying he does, but it's possible.
Like, what's going to go into a slump? It's not going to be his shot. He's still going to be able to shoot a puck when he's 38, 39 years old.
But you know what, Mike? Nicholas Backstrom. He's not going to be. They're all going to get a little bit older.
No, he's got to find other Backstroms and Kuznetsovs and Carlsons and so forth to get him the puck. But I'm telling you, it's going to be neat to watch that over time. Digging deep into the Penguin system, fun thing when Bradford and I were in Alberta a little bit ago, You're driving down Highway 2, flat road, and you're looking at all these exit signs with like these names that you learned as you were growing up that are associated with junior teams, like Red Deer, and we have to name oh yeah, they're the Rebels. And then you get to the Penguins have a couple of kids on one team that are really important right now.
In the WHL, the Lethbridge Hurricanes, two of their top guys, Jordy Bellerive, he's a center. Kalen Addison, he was just their second-round pick, he's a defenseman. They're both over a point per game. Kalen Addison, as a defenseman, he's a point per game.
Oh yeah, he's super mobile, little dude, but he can really move.
Yeah, and with Addison, obviously he doesn't have any problems offensively. With him, it's his defense. Like, he has a lot of lapses.
You've been really critical of his defense at times this year.
I've seen some clips of his. You've seen him too, or it just seems like
you've sent them to me. I've seen them. They're gruesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Bellerive's really exciting, though. After his injury, doctors told him he'd be out a year. He was back on the ice after 4 weeks.
He got victimized in a burn accident.
Yeah. He and you see pictures. His hands are really scarred up. Like, you can tell it's really obvious. He's over a point per game. He's producing a little less than last year, but a point per game. Yeah,
he arguably shouldn't even be playing.
No, yeah,
at this stage.
Still really impressive.
Addison is the one who, in the preseason, I had my eye on all that, and I appreciated the fact, and boy did he ever, that Mike Sullivan and the staff put him into a preseason game. This was up in Detroit. Mm-hmm. He was partnered, amusingly enough, with Jamie Alexiak.
Oh, yeah.
He's the size of one of Alexiak's legs.
Yeah, they skated together all training camp. It was just funny to watch.
But it worked because the big rig on one side was taking care of business, and there was Addison just free to do his thing, but he was comfortable. What impressed me was that he was comfortable on both sides of the rink. Either they were interchangeable.
They're switching him back and forth.
Are they really? Well, good for them.
He's back and forth.
Because he's going to have to be that guy. And as we've seen with the parent Penguins right now, if you're a lefty defenseman who can't play the right side, you're watching the games with us up in the press box.
Yeah. So he's getting a lot of experience in different situations. He's been on the first, second, third pairing, both sides. Yeah, he's been all over, and he's going to be likely on Canada's junior team in the World Juniors. Yeah, he's been named to the selection camp, so not everyone from that camp will make it. But all the projected rosters I've seen, he's been on there.
Well, in order to crack that roster, he is going to have to be better defensively because Canada, when they go into a major junior tournament, they actually focus first on defense. It's a different world.
Yeah.